The Astrix drifts beyond the storm, its hull still trembling from the echo surge. Inside, the crew gathers around the containment vault, where the singularity seed now pulses with a new, unfamiliar rhythm. Elara senses it first. It's not random. It's calling. But not to them. The Astrix drifted through the quiet gulf between stars, its hull illuminated only by the pale shimmer of the distant nebula. Inside, the crew moved with the silent tension of people who had seen too much, and yet sensed that the galaxy had one more secret waiting for them. Elara stood alone on the bridge, staring at the containment vault where the singularity seed rested. The faint glow pulsed like a heartbeat, slow and deliberate, as though the seed itself were waiting for someone, or something. Aaron approached quietly, his footsteps echoing across the metallic floor. "You've been watching it for hours," he said. "It responds to proximity," Elara replied. "Every time I get near it, the pulse changes. It's anticipating." Aaron folded his arms. Anticipating what? She didn't answer. Because the truth was something she didn't yet understand. Behind them, Rai Solari entered, his uniform half unzipped, still marked with repairs from their last mission. "Commanders," he began, "we just detected a temporal spike. Not gravitational. Not quantum. Something else." Elara turned. "Location?" Rai tapped the hollow panel that rose between them. A star map formed, then distorted. A single point blinked crimson. Far beyond the mapped territories. Far beyond known civilization. "The spike originated here," Rai said. "Deep in the silent arm." Aaron frowned sharply. The silent arm is supposed to be dead space. No life. No stars bright enough to support anything intelligent. Rai shook his head. "Well, something out there disagrees." The hologram flickered as data streamed in, unsteady, fragmented, as if reality itself was glitching. Nova Lyss entered the bridge next, her hair tied back, her hands stained with antimatter residue. "The signal isn't normal," she said. "It carries harmonic signatures similar to the architect's voice, but twisted." Elara felt a chill. "Twisted how?" Nova exhaled slowly. "Like someone else learned their language, and is rewriting it." The air in the bridge seemed to thicken. A new frequency exploded through the system, sharp, resonant, layered with overlapping voices. It was a message. Not just a signal. Elara leaned forward. "Put it through." Static flooded the chamber, then slowly, painfully, it resolved into sound. Tones mixed with whispers. Echoes blended with distorted syllables. It seemed like a dozen minds speaking through the same throat. Then one voice pushed forward. "Guardians of the seed, you carry the future." The crew froze. "Your actions ripple across unborn centuries." Aaron whispered, "This can't be the architect." The convergence begins. The bridge lights faltered, dimmed, then surged. Nova's hands raced across the controls. "I'm detecting an encoded pattern in the message. It's a location." "No, multiple locations. A sequence." Rai stared at the map. "It's a trail." Elara felt her heartbeat quickening. "A summons." The static cleared, and the voice returned, clearer now. Deep. Resonant. Almost human. "A child of destiny awakens." Elara's stomach tightened. "Selim Varian." Aaron looked sharply at her. "But he isn't born yet." Nova whispered, "Maybe the galaxy doesn't care about our timeline anymore." The ship trembled suddenly. Panels shook. The lights flickered again. "What was that?" Rai barked. Nova scanned. A spatial ripple. Something massive just shifted in the silent arm. A gravitational fold, like something opening. Aaron's eyes widened. "A stargate?" "No," Nova said, voice trembling. "Bigger. A new object appeared on the hologram. Enormous. Circular. Its scale impossible. A megastructure, Elara breathed. But not ascendant. This is something else. The voice on the transmission strengthened, no longer distorted. Now commanding. Now aware. Come to the point of origin. Come to the cradle. Come to shape what is to come. Then the signal died. Silence conquered the bridge. Elara stepped toward the viewport, staring out at the endless sweep of space. The architect warned us, she whispered. That our actions would define the rise of a future general. But what if someone else wants to shape him for their own purpose? Aaron joined her side. Then we can't ignore this summon. Nova locked her gaze onto the swirling star map. Whatever sent this knows the seed exists. If we wait, we give them time to reach us. Rai cracked his knuckles. I say we go there first. Hit them before they hit us. Elara closed her eyes. The future was no longer a distant horizon. It was moving toward them. Set course for the silent arm, she said. The Astrixa's engines ignited, flooding the craft with a low, resonant hum. The ship rotated smoothly, aligning with coordinates no human vessel had ever approached. As the starfield stretched into streaks of white and blue, Elara pressed her hand lightly against the vault that held the singularity seed. Its pulse quickened. Almost like it recognized the path ahead. Almost like it welcomed it. The stars vanished as the Astrix leapt into the unknown. Toward a destiny waiting to be born. Toward the birth of the convergence. The Astrix glided through the dark between stars, its engines humming with a rhythm that felt almost nervous. The crew had traveled across dying systems and ascendant realms, yet nothing felt as ominous as the path ahead. The silent arm stretched before them like a scar carved into the Milky Way, an ancient, untouched region swallowed by void storms, gravitational scars, and forgotten cosmic ruins. A place where even ascendants once feared to tread. Elara stood at the command platform, hands folded behind her back. She watched the hologram of the silent arm twisting slowly, like a serpent waiting for prey. The map displayed no settlements, no star lanes, no traces of life. Only a single pulsing beacon, the coordinates encoded in the mysterious signal. Aaron approached quietly, offering a report tablet. We've entered pre-boundary space. Long-range sensors are acting strange. Strange how? Elara asked. Aaron hesitated. They're picking up distortions before we even reach them. Like the region itself is predicting our arrival. Rai, seated at tactical, chimed in with a dry smirk. So the void knows we're coming. Great. Maybe it'll roll out a welcome mat. Nova Lyss ignored the banter, her fingers dancing across engineering panels. Energy readings are unstable. Background radiation is fluctuating. Gravity pockets appear and vanish without cause. Elara's eyes narrowed. This region shouldn't be generating gravity pockets. It shouldn't be doing any of this, Nova replied softly. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The silent arm was already watching. As they crossed the boundary threshold, the stars outside began to shift. Their light stretched into thin, whispering trails. Space itself seemed to bend in submission to unseen forces. The ship vibrated under pressure from unknown fields. Rai muttered, feels like flying through a nightmare. Elara stayed silent, her mind turning over the voice they heard earlier, the one claiming the convergence had begun. The one referencing Selim Varian. The one implying someone, somewhere, was guiding them here with intention. Aaron pointed to the viewport. You might want to see this. Elara stepped forward. The darkness of the silent arm wasn't empty. It was alive. A shimmering veil rippled through space, like a cosmic mirage. Shapes moved behind it, vast, slow, titanic silhouettes drifting through the void. They resembled celestial whales, but their bodies were made of translucent plasma, their forms held together by magnetic currents. Void Leviathans, Aaron whispered. I thought they were mythical. Nova shook her head. They're gravity-born organisms. Theoretical only. No one has ever. One of the Leviathans turned, its colossal form passing near the Astrix. The creature's luminous body cast haunting reflections across the hull. Its single, star-filled eye drifted open. And it looked at them. A collective shiver ran through the bridge. Rai gripped his rifle instinctively. Do they eat ships? Nova glared. They're not animals. They're cosmic phenomena with consciousness signatures. Which is exactly what someone who's about to get eaten would say, Rai shot back. The Leviathan drifted away, disappearing into the dark as quickly as it appeared, silent, indifferent, ancient. Elara exhaled slowly, her voice low. The silent arm hasn't been silent. It's been hiding. The ship continued deeper, past the spatial veil, where the starfield changed again. The stars were faint, dimmed as if drained of life. Several burned with distorted shapes, elongated, twisted, bent around invisible funnels. Aaron zoomed in. Localized gravitational infections. Something is feeding on these stars. Rai's jaw tightened. The Voidborn? No, Nova corrected. Something older. Before she could elaborate, the ship jolted violently. Alarms flared. Gravitic disruption. Rai shouted. Source, unknown. Aaron stabilized the ship with a rapid thruster correction. We're being pulled. The hologram flared red, showing a massive distortion ahead, spiraling like an artificial vortex. It's not a wormhole, Nova murmured. It's engineered. Elara stared at the vortex's center, her pulse accelerating. Something at the heart of the spiral was emitting the beacon. Something intelligent, and patient. We approach slowly, she ordered. Rai, weapons on reserve. Nova, reinforced the harmonic shields. Aaron added, if this is the thing that summoned us, it wants us alive. That doesn't make me feel better, Rai muttered. The Astrix drifted into the spiral corridor. Colors warped around them, violet currents, blue whirlwinds, streaks of metallic light. The vortex didn't tear the ship apart. Instead, it guided them, as if ushering them towards something sacred. Elara whispered, it's a passageway. The vortex opened into a pocket region, a hidden enclave of space preserved like a memory. At its center floated a star unlike any they had seen. Its surface shimmered in fractal patterns. Angular rings orbited it, glowing with symbols older than recorded history. Aaron stared in awe. This star, it's manufactured. Rai checked sensors. Wait, something's rising from behind it. A structure emerged into view, vast, metallic, sculpted in layered circles. It resembled a cosmic temple, taller than moons, forged from starlight and shadow. Multiple entrances glowed with shifting patterns like encrypted invitations. Elara whispered, this is where the signal came from. The Astrix slowed to a crawl, locking into a gentle orbit around the structure. Then the message returned. Not distorted this time. Not fractured. But clear. Guardians, welcome. Elara held her breath. You stand before the convergence source. The cradle of a future that will reshape your galaxy. Aaron's voice trembled. They expected us. Nova stared at the glowing rings around the star. No, they calculated us. The voice continued. Enter, and know the beginning. The structure opened, hatches unfolding like petals of light. Elara stepped forward and spoke with absolute resolve. Prepare landing teams. We're going in. The crew exchanged looks, fear, awe, confusion, determination, all blending together. As the Astrix descended toward the colossal doors, Elara placed her hand over the vault that held the singularity seed. Its pulse grew stronger. As if the seed recognized the place. As if it belonged here. The silent arm had not merely beckoned them. It had been waiting. And now, the convergence had begun. The Astrix drifted into the silent gulf between the Orion Spur and the Persian frontier, its hull shimmering with residual prismatic dust from the convergence chamber. The ship's engines hummed softly, a low harmonic note that seemed almost alive, another echo of what they had witnessed beneath the surface of Helios. Elara stood at the command viewport, the vast emptiness stretching before her. Only minutes separated them from the convergence's awakening, yet the aftershock inside her felt like a lifetime. She kept replaying the architect's message in her mind, the cadence of its voice, calm, ancient, inevitable. Her crew moved quietly behind her, each lost in their own orbit of thoughts. Aaron checked the ship's harmonic stabilizers, fingers trembling slightly despite his usual composure. Rai polished a graviton round, using the repetitive motion to mask the knot of anxiety in his chest. Nova hovered near the data consoles, eyes flickering with a blend of awe and calculation, downloading every micron of energy they had sampled. The silence was not peaceful. It was the kind that settled before a storm. "Captain," Nova finally said, her voice thin but steady. "We're approaching the anomaly." Elara exhaled slowly. "Put it on screen." The viewport darkened, then relit, revealing a structure the size of a moon, floating dead center in the abyss. A broken ring. An impossible relic. Its curved segments hovered weightlessly, shards of ancient alloy connected by flickering threads of blue fire. Some pieces drifted loosely, others locked in place like fragments frozen mid-explosion. The structure spun slowly, rotating around an invisible core, a wound in space itself. Aaron stepped forward, breath catching. The fractured starway. Rai let out a short, humorless laugh. "I thought it was a myth. A ghostway built by pre-architect civilizations." Nova shook her head. "No myth. Not anymore. The energy signatures match those around the seed." Elara narrowed her eyes. "So the architect wanted us to find this." Aaron swallowed. "But why?" "It's unstable. The lattice is collapsing." As if reacting to his words, the starway pulsed, once, twice, like a heartbeat. Then, without warning, a ripple of distortion surged outward, warping the starlight around them. The Astrix shook violently. "Brace!" Elara shouted. The ship lurched sideways, alarms screaming as gravitational tides ripped across its hull. Rai slammed into a console, cursing as sparks showered across the chamber. Nova grabbed the nearest rail, using her boots maglock to stay anchored. Aaron's hands flew across the controls. "Field integrity dropping. The starway is pulling us in. Reverse thrust, maximum." Elara ordered. "It's not enough." The starway pulsed again. This time, the space around it tore open, revealing a tunnel of spiraling light. A dark corridor, lined with nebular frost and shards of broken reality. A star path. But incomplete. And dying. Something surged within the rift, an energy that pushed against the Astrix's shields like an invisible hand. Nova's eyes widened. "Captain, it's calling to the seed." As if on cue, the containment vault behind them rattled. Soft, rhythmic vibrations echoed through the floor, like a child's heartbeat. Elara felt her throat tighten. "We're not losing control of this ship," she said, stepping toward the helm. "Aaron. Use the harmonic relays. Tune the shield frequency to the seed's pulse." He blinked at her. "Captain, if we're wrong." "We're not." Aaron nodded, trusting her completely. He adjusted the relays. The Astrix's shields flickered, then shifted into a shimmering crystalline hue, the same resonance as the singularity seed. Instantly, the violent pull eased. The starway seemed to recognize them. The rift expanded calmly now, no longer hostile but patient, waiting. Rai stared at the screen. So what? It's inviting us inside. Nova whispered, not inviting us. Guiding us. Aaron checked the readings again. The interior is stable for now. But only just. We'd have minutes at best. Elara studied the broken ring, the dark corridor beyond it, and the strange energy that flowed like river currents within the void. This is part of the cycle, she murmured. Part of the architect's test. Rai raised an eyebrow. Or a trap. Everything since Helios has been dangerous, she replied softly. But none of it was random. She stepped forward, resting her hand on the helm. Take us in. The crew exchanged glances, uncertain but resolute. The Astrix aligned itself with the fractured entrance. The moment they crossed the threshold, the universe shifted. Inside the starway, the air hummed with ancient power. Streams of light arced across the corridor like cosmic rivers, flowing backward in time. Cloud-like substance drifted past, memories of dying stars, compressed into spectral form. Every particle seemed alive. Records, Nova whispered. These are memories of a civilization older than the architects. A sudden flash consumed the corridor. The crew found themselves staring at visions, faint holograms flickering along the tunnel walls. Tall crystalline beings forging star bridges. Armored giants riding gravitational currents. Worlds forming, dying, reforming. But then. Another image overtook them. Darkness. A swarm of shadowed figures devouring a star bridge. The Void-born Legion, older and more numerous than anything they'd seen before. Rai stiffened. That's a war. A war they lost, Aaron said quietly. Elara forced her gaze forward. And the starway was shattered. The tunnel trembled, cracks spreading across its luminous walls. Captain, Nova warned, the structure won't hold much longer. Elara felt the seed thrum behind her, like a heartbeat sinking with the collapsing starway. Then we learn what we can, she said. And we survive. As the Astrix pressed deeper into the dying corridor, the visions grew sharper, an ancient warning unfolding before them. A message left for the next Guardians. And Elara realized. The starway wasn't just a relic. It was a prophecy. A bridge to a war destined to return. The starway's corridor narrowed into a twisting passage, its walls warping between matter and memory. The Astrix drifted deeper, engines whispering in low harmonic tones that felt more like breaths than machinery. The dying structure groaned around them, metal, light, and spacetime interwoven into something neither natural nor manufactured. Elara stood at the helm, her gaze sharp, her posture tense. She felt the seed pulsing behind her, its faint glow shimmering through the containment vault seams. Each pulse matched the rhythm of the starway's unstable heart. Captain, Aaron said, fingers dancing over the controls, the corridor is fragmenting ahead. Realities fluctuating between three spatial layers. Rai scoffed under his breath. Meaning the hallway is existing and not existing at the same time, Nova answered. Step wrong and we could slip into a non-physical pocket. Rai tightened his grip on his harness. Fantastic. I always wanted to die in a room that isn't real. Elara ignored the exchange. Her focus remained on the swirling patterns ahead, a labyrinth forming from light, shadow, and fractured geometry. The passage split into three paths, each shimmering with different energy signatures. Aaron zoomed the display, frowning. They're quantum locked. We can only choose one. Nova's eyes glowed faintly as she scanned. Left path, high entropy decay. Middle, stable but flooded with harmonic feedback. Right, low energy, but something's interfering with my scanners. Rai leaned forward. Interfering how? It's like something doesn't want to be detected. Elara felt a cold prickle at the base of her spine. The Void-born. They had seen their echoes in the visions, ancient, star-hungry, relentless. If fragments of that enemy were hiding inside the starway, then this labyrinth wasn't just a relic. It was a battlefield. "We take the middle," Elara said. Aaron blinked. "The most volatile one." "Volatile means active. Active means alive. The architect left us clues, not death traps." Rai muttered, "Debatable." But the Astrix drifted forward, aligning itself with the central corridor. The moment they crossed into it, the world shifted. The ship jolted violently, then everything went silent. Absolute silent. Aaron tapped his console. "Captain, systems are responding, but there's no sound. Even inside the ship." Nova gasped softly. "We're inside a harmonic null field. It cancels all vibration, even the ones inside our ears." Rai snapped his fingers. The gesture produced nothing, not even the faint brush of air. Elara stepped forward, forcing calm through her tightening chest. "No sound means no communication, no warnings, and no cries for help." The corridor outside the viewport rippled. Patterns of color spiraled like auroras trapped underwater, shifting with each pulse of the seed. Then the labyrinth walls changed. Symbols emerged, holographic glyphs spiraling in geometric precision. They rotated, expanded, locked into place like pieces of a cosmic machine waking from slumber. Nova pointed urgently, mouthing words that no one could hear. Elara read her lips. "It's a key." The seed throbbed in response. The symbols rotated faster, aligning into a tapestry of golden lines. They formed a circle, a star map unlike anything in known space. Constellations twisted, converging into a single point. A newborn system. Uncharted. Wrapped in mystery. Aaron's voice crackled through the internal comms, faint and distorted by the null field. "Captain. I'm detecting a resonance match with the seed. This map, it's showing where the seed must be used." Elara stared at the growing image. "This is our destination." Rai's expression tightened. "Then who built this map, and who tried to destroy it?" Before anyone could answer, the symbols flickered violently. A shadow crossed the map. A silhouette, angular, unnatural, emerged from the edges of the corridor. The Void-born. Not a memory. Not a vision. A living remnant, trapped in the starway for millennia. Its body shifted like liquid darkness, limbs unfolding at impossible angles. Its jaws opened, silent but screaming, the null field drowning out its shriek. Elara grabbed the rail. Rai reached for his rifle. Aaron diverted power to the shields. Nova initiated an emergency harmonic burst. The void-born creature lunged. But its body flickered, phasing between physical and non-physical states, slipping through reality like smoke through fingers. It slammed into the Astrix's shield, sending ripples of distortion across the hull. The ship shuddered. Panels cracked. The map dissolved in a cascade of light. The labyrinth itself reacted violently, the corridors twisting, collapsing, reforming. It was as if the starway recognized the Void-born's presence, and was panicking. Aaron shouted over the static, "The null field is destabilizing. Sound is coming back, slightly, but so is everything else." Rai fired a graviton round. It hit, but the creature split in two, reforming instantly behind the shockwave. "They don't die," he yelled. "Not here," Nova said, eyes widening. "The starway is feeding it. It's part of the labyrinth's collapse." Elara clenched her fists. The seed pulsed, hard. The containment vault glowed. The Void-born froze for a split second, its shadowy form trembling. "Aaron!" Elara shouted. "Tune the shields to the seed's frequency." He didn't hesitate. The shields shimmered, shifting into crystalline resonance. The Void-born lunged again. This time, it struck the shield and shattered into fragments of fading shadow, its body collapsing into a mist of dissolving darkness, consumed by the seed's harmonic field. Silence. Then, The labyrinth split open. A burst of spiraling light ripped through the corridor, collapsing the starway completely. Aaron yelled, "We're being ejected." The Astrix spun, tumbling through the imploding star tunnel. Elara held the helm steady, fighting the violent gravitational tides. The tunnel narrowed. Constricted. Collapsed. And the Astrix exploded out of the starway, crashing back into open space with a thunderous shockwave. The crew gasped for breath. The seed pulsed once, calmly. Purposefully. Rai spoke first, voice still shaking. "What the hell was that?" Nova answered quietly. "A warning. The Voidborn survived the ancient war. And they're still hunting the seed." Elara stood tall, gaze steady. "Then the convergence is more than a mission," she said. "It's a race." And somewhere in the distance, stars flickered, watching. Waiting. The Astrix drifted through calm space for the first time in hours. After escaping the collapsing starway, the crew had retreated into the quietest region they could find, a hollow pocket of dust and starlight where the Milky Way's glow bent softly across the hull. Elara stood on the observation deck alone, hands resting against the transparent alloy. The seed pulsed behind her in its containment vault, faint but insistent, like the heartbeat of a slumbering titan. Its glow reflected across her face. It called to her. Not in words. Not in thoughts. In gravity, a subtle pull of destiny. Bootsteps approached. "Aaron. You've been staring at it for nearly an hour," he said quietly. Elara didn't turn. "It's changing. After the Voidborn attack, the pulse has stabilized. Almost like it's waiting." Aaron joined her at the window. "For us? Or someone else?" She sighed. "For the future. For him." Aaron didn't respond, but she could feel the tension behind his silence. The architect's prophecy hung over them like a shadow. Selim Varian. A child not yet born. A man destined to command the Milky Way, either as its protector or its tyrant. Aaron finally spoke. "Elara, do you believe the prophecy is fixed?" She looked at him. "Nothing is fixed. Futures shift. Branch. Collapse. The galaxy isn't a script, it's a maze. So why does it feel like we're already inside it?" Before she could answer, the lights flickered. A hum rose through the floor. Not danger. A resonance. Nova's voice crackled over the comm. "Captain, you need to get back to the bridge. The seed is generating a spatial weave." Elara and Aaron rushed into the lift. When they reached the bridge, the entire command deck was bathed in shimmering threads of golden energy. The seed, still locked inside the vault, projected an intricate pattern across the air. A holographic web spanning hundreds of light-years. Nova, wide-eyed, explained. "It's mapping something. Not star positions. Not gravitational fields. Something underneath." Rai leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. "Underneath stars." "What, ghosts?" "No," Aaron said, studying the pattern. "Foundations. The substructure of spacetime." Elara stepped closer. "Show me the convergence points." Nova tapped a command. The holographic web tightened, focusing on a cluster of spiraling nodes at the map center. 1, 2, no, 3 coordinates, Nova said. Each one radiating the same frequency as the seed. Rai whistled low. 3 other seeds. Or 3 other triggers, Aaron said. This is a network. A design. Elara felt her pulse quicken. A galactic machine hidden beneath the stars. Crafted by the architects. Feared by the Voidborn. Connected to a future general who didn't yet exist. Rai looked at Elara. "Captain, tell me we're not going after those." She answered without hesitation. "We are." The bridge fell silent. Aaron frowned. We barely survived visiting one ancient beacon. Now we're going to chase down 3 nodes tied to the fate of the galaxy. Elara nodded. If this is a warning about Selim Varian, we can't ignore it. Nova's expression softened. So we find the truth before history is written. Rai grumbled, or before something decides we shouldn't. The seed pulsed again, hard. The holographic web collapsed and reformed, creating a single projection. A face. Not human. Not void-born. Something new. A smooth, luminous visage with features carved from living energy. Eyes like molten nebulae. A shape flickering between forms. Aaron whispered, "Is that another architect?" The projection opened its mouth. No sound. Only vibration, pure resonance, thrummed through the deck plates, the console screens, the walls. Nova's eyes widened. It's speaking through gravitational compression waves. Can you translate it? Elara asked. I think so. The hologram issued another pulse. Nova typed furiously, her voice cracking as words decoded on screen. The convergence is begun. Another pulse. The Voidborn have breached the outer arms. A third. The child must survive. A fourth, this time violent enough to shake the ship. The general must rise. Elara felt her blood run cold. The hologram flickered violently, its face fracturing like shattered glass. Aaron stepped back. Captain. The projection exploded into a spray of cascading symbols that spiraled around the bridge like falling embers. The Astrix's systems rattled. Panels dimmed. The seed flared intensely inside the vault. And then everything went still. The symbols froze mid-air. A deep, resonant tone vibrated through the hull. Nova gasped. It's locking onto a new coordinate. Rai snapped to attention. Are we about to get dragged somewhere? No, Aaron said slowly. It's giving us a choice. Elara stepped forward. The frozen symbols rotated, clicked, and aligned into a final message. Choose the next thread of time. The bridge light steadied. The web dissolved. The seed dimmed. Elara stood in the center of the deck, her voice steady. We follow the map. We find the next architect. And we discover who Selim Varian is meant to become. Rai exhaled sharply. Then what? We raise him. Aaron gave a weak smile. Or stop him. Nova whispered. No matter which path we take, someone's future ends. Elara clasped her hands behind her back. And someone's future begins. Outside the viewport, the stars shifted gently, whispering the promise of a war not yet born. The Astrix floated at the edge of a quiet stellar nursery, a cloud of shimmering gas where new suns formed slowly, silently, like sleeping giants waiting for their first breath. The crew gathered on the bridge, staring at the seed as it glowed with a strange calmness. After everything the galaxy had hurled at them, the void-born assault, the collapsing star, the architect's prophecy, this silence felt unreal. Elara stood at the center of the deck, hands clasped behind her back. We've crossed the threshold, she said softly. This is no longer just exploration. No longer survival. We're standing at the beginning of a future that hasn't been written yet. Aaron stepped closer, studying her expression. And we're the ones who have to decide how it's written. Nova leaned over the console, eyes scanning new gravitational signatures. The seed is reacting to something inside the nebula. Not a beacon. Not a structure. Something, alive. Rai blinked. Alive? In a stellar nursery? Nova nodded. Or becoming alive. Elara felt a chill climb her spine. Project the signal. The holographic map unfolded again, shimmering like woven starlight. This time, no faces appeared. No warnings. No prophecies. Instead, the map zoomed inward, deeper into the nebula, toward a point of impossible concentration. A star. No, a protostar, burning with premature brilliance. Aaron frowned. That's not natural. It's forming too fast. Nova whispered, it's not forming. It's being pulled into existence. The seed thrummed inside its vault, synchronized perfectly with the newborn star's pulse. Elara's breath caught. It's calling to him. To Selim Varian. Rai turned slowly. You mean that star is tied to his birth, Elara finished. Maybe even his power. Another pulse rocked the ship, gentle but unmistakable. The seed glowed brighter, connecting with the protostar across empty space. Elara reached out and touched the vault. The seed responded. A soft halo of light enveloped her hand and filled her vision with a whisper. Not words. Not symbols. But a sensation. A child. A journey. A war. A choice. She pulled her hand back, shaken but steady. Aaron asked quietly, what did it show you? Elara stared out at the glowing star, her voice barely above a breath. That we're not just protecting the future general, we're shaping him. Even now. Even before he exists. Rai muttered, so what now? We watch over this, Star Child. No, Elara said firmly. We move forward. We find the next architect node. We uncover every piece of what shapes Selim Varian. We learn the truth before anyone else does. Nova checked her readings. Then we have a heading. The Astrix rotated slowly, engines warming like a whisper of thunder. Aaron turned to Elara. You ready? Elara's gaze hardened with resolve. We don't wait for destiny. She stepped forward, eyes fixed on the glowing nebula. We chase it. The engines roared. The Astrix leapt into faster-than-light travel. Behind them, the newborn star pulsed once more. As if acknowledging the first guardians of the future. Who had chosen to shape the rise of Selim Varian.